Absolutely everyone loved Toy Story 5. But did you know that 99% of the franchise's fans have absolutely no idea what Woody's evolution was like, from his creation all the way to his latest movie?
Oh, well, howdy doody, kids, and howdy, Buffalo Bob.
Most fans don't even have a clue, but Woody was actually inspired by Howdy Doody, one of the very first children's shows on American television, focused on the Wild West and starring a friendly cowboy marionette named Doody, who was covered in freckles and interacted with a live audience of kids. Doody was so incredibly successful that his show stayed on the air for nothing less than 13 years, from 1947 all the way to 1960. And it was exactly as a tribute to the name Doody that our Toy Story protagonist was named Woody. Not to mention the cowboy outfits that were also totally inspired by the puppet from the 1940s. In fact, the second version of the character was actually created by a Disney animator, which was basically a huge sign that the company would in the future use Doody as Woody's spiritual ancestor. Woody's very first appearance in animation didn't happen during the release of Toy Story in theaters, but actually 2 to 3 years earlier, when Pixar created the character for the movie commissioned by Disney. However, that Woody is definitely quite different from the one we know today. In reality, he was a bizarrely cruel ventriloquist dummy, and he even went as far as being a dictator to the other toys. In the original story, he hatched a plan to throw Buzz out of the window so he would break forever, if you catch my drift. However, in a meeting held in 1993, the Disney executives absolutely hated the animation test and the story of Toy Story so much that they threatened to cancel everything and fire everybody. This forced the Pixar team to race against the clock and hastily rewrite the protagonist, transforming that villain into the friendly, good-hearted cowboy who ended up winning over the entire world. After that, in 1995, with the official release of the first Toy Story, Woody finally took on the role of our great protagonist that we all absolutely adore. Being the absolute leader and the favorite toy in Andy's room, he sees his perfect life get turned completely upside down with the arrival of the Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear. In this classic and unforgettable adventure, our sheriff's great burden is having to swallow his own ego, get over a gigantic jealousy crisis, and learn a beautiful lesson. He finds out the hard way that a toy's true purpose isn't to hold the title of favorite, but rather to make his kid happy, giving birth right there to one of the greatest friendships in the history of cinema. After that, our sheriff's next appearance happened 3 years later in A Bug's Life, which was Pixar's second official movie. In it, Woody made a special cameo appearance in the movie's post-credits scene. For those who don't remember, Pixar loved creating hilarious fake bloopers to show during the end credits of their movies. And that is exactly where our sheriff shows up real quick, holding the movie clapperboard completely upside down right in the middle of the Bugs movie set. It was a spectacular cameo that helped create the famous interconnected Pixar universe theory that would become world famous a few movies and years later. A year later, Woody returns in Toy Story 2, which managed to be even better than the very first movie. It is here that we, and the protagonist himself, discover that he isn't just an ordinary toy, but actually an extremely rare collector's item from the 50s, being the huge star of the classic show Woody's Roundup, which was basically the Howdy Doody show that inspired Woody's real-life creation. After being stolen by the greedy collector Al, our hero faces his first huge existential dilemma, choosing between living forever intact and admired in a museum in Japan, or rushing back to Andy's room, knowing that one day his kid will inevitably grow up and he will be cast aside. Just 1 year later, in the year 2000, Disney released the 2D movie Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. And of course, our beloved Woody couldn't miss out on making an appearance to support his best friend. The cowboy makes a simply fantastic cameo appearance right in the animation's prologue. The opening scene, done in a wonderful traditional 3D animation, shows Woody, Rex, and the rest of the entire toy gang running like crazy toward the television. The goal? To watch the Space Rangers movie on TV. The animation served as the pilot episode for the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command cartoon series that would go on to have 61 episodes. Jumping ahead to 2006, the automotive universe took over the big screens. And guess who was right there in the middle of the audience? That's right, Woody. During the super fun epilogue of the very first Cars animation, Lightning McQueen's movie, we see the vehicles at a drive-in movie theater watching automotive versions of Pixar classics. It is at this exact moment that our sheriff shows up perfectly reinterpreted by a Woody-style actor vehicle, fully decked out with wooden details. The most incredible part is that he was voiced once again by the brilliant Tom Hanks, the exact same voice actor as the Toy Story protagonist. Seeing the cowboy transformed into a toy car was a simply perfect and completely unforgettable Easter egg for the franchise.
If you're enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss any new videos.
4 whole years went by without us seeing Woody in any media, until Toy Story 3 was finally released. In the story, with Andy finally packing his bags to go off to college, Woody gets the privilege of being the only toy chosen to go along. But, proving that he is the most loyal leader in the entire world, he gives up his comfort and follows his gang to the sinister Sunnyside daycare to save them. After orchestrating a masterful and breathtaking escape from that place, the sheriff makes the most mature and emotional decision of his entire life. He does absolutely everything to make sure that all the toys, including himself, get passed on to the loving and highly imaginative hands of the cute little Bonnie. That was Andy's last movie and Bonnie's very first. Following the farewell between Andy and Woody at the end of Toy Story 3, the sheriff made a massive comeback 1 year later in the Toy Story Toons series of shorts, where Woody shined as a true luxury supporting character in several short stories focused on other characters. For instance, in Hawaiian Vacation, he acts as the great master of ceremonies, planning out a flawless beach scenery in Bonnie's bedroom just to console Ken and Barbie. Meanwhile, in Small Fry, he deals with the major headache of seeing a mini bus, a fast food kids meal toy, trying to completely replace his best friend. And in Pastisaurus Rex, he makes a super funny cameo appearance, watching entirely perplexed the epic and foam-filled mess that the dinosaur creates during bath time. After that, the Toy Story franchise continued with its releases and brought Woody into the dark and hilarious Toy Story of Terror, where our sheriff ends up getting captured by the manager of a super creepy motel, and the plot serves to give a massive spotlight to Jessie, who needs to take on the leading role to rescue him. Meanwhile, in the Toy Story That Time Forgot special, focused heavily on the holiday vibe, Woody and the original gang take a little step back and assume a secondary role. The spotlight was left entirely for Trixie, who had to resolve a major Jurassic conflict with the fierce Battlesaurus tribe. A short while later, the character showed up in another Pixar movie. In Coco, Woody got a really cool Easter egg. While young Miguel is walking through the bustling streets of his small town in Mexico, right before entering the land of the dead, it's possible to see several beautiful piñatas hanging up at one of the little stands, and 3 of them have the exact and unmistakable shapes of Woody, Buzz Lightyear, and Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc. A spectacular tribute that only Pixar knows how to do. 2 years after that reference in Coco, we see Woody show up this time in some of the presentation scenes for the game Kingdom Hearts 3, which was made by the Japanese company Square Enix in collaboration with Disney. In this game, the protagonist Sora and his friends visit the Toy Box world, which flawlessly recreates Andy's room and his toys, obviously including Woody. The coolest part is that this appearance isn't an alternate universe or a generic crossover. Pixar itself actively collaborated with the game's director, Tetsuya Nomura, to fully develop the narrative. As a result, the events that Woody and Buzz experience right alongside Sora are widely considered to be canon, and take place exactly in the time window between the movies Toy Story 2, 1999, and Toy Story 3, 2010. Just a few months later, Woody would return starring in Toy Story 4, where he is no longer the absolute favorite and ends up feeling entirely useless in Bonnie's closet. After various events, he finds a brand new purpose, taking on the role of protector to the innocent Forky. By the end of the movie, Woody finally abandoned his traditional life of loyalty to a single kid to become, right alongside the great love of his life, Bo Peep, a lost toy, now dedicating his days to helping other toys find new and loving owners. In the incredibly cute 7-minute short film called Lamp Life, Woody showed up to fill in a super important gap in the story. With the plot entirely focused on showing what really happened to Bo Peep and her little sheep, the cowboy makes a special appearance through memories, flashbacks, and hilarious retellings. The sheriff's appearances in this short are absolutely fundamental because he serves perfectly as the narrative link to connect and explain all of those massive holes in Bo Peep's trajectory, detailing the years that the porcelain heroine spent far away, exactly between the second movie and their striking reunion in the fourth film. And to close out our evolution on a high note, Woody's latest and most recent appearance was in Toy Story 5. Woody reappears with a little less hair and a bit more of a belly to help Jessie and Buzz deal with the crazy problems caused by technology and the risk of toys being thrown away. He and his stylish poncho are fully responsible for helping, and I mean really helping, Jessie return back home and helping Bonnie and Blaze kick off their beautiful friendship.
We'll stop here, but you can still keep watching more incredible videos. Just click on either of these two appearing for you. Until next time.